All right, class, welcome to a new lesson. Let's start this one out by checking out what's going on in the news.
We begin tonight with the nation facing a volatile moment as protesters for racial justice continue and once again turn deadly. This time the images from Portland, where daily demonstrations have taken place for months. Aerial footage showing a caravan of vehicles flying Trump flags as they pulled into the city's downtown. After nightfall...
Okay, nope, wait, cut. We don't need to show that. Let's talk about something completely different. So, let's look at three different philosophers who all had significant impact on the founding of the United States. Their names are Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. Hobbes thought that men in their natural state were basically savages, that the state of nature is a state of war, with no morality. He famously said that the life of man outside of civilization is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. I kind of like it's a good turn of phrase. I'm not going to lie. Because of that, he's thought the whole point of government is to impose some structure on these beasts, some law and order on us miserable lowlifes, to keep the peace and prevent a state of war. He figured that government then should be designed to control, to hold back these vicious impulses, not to bother with representation of the common rabble, but more to keep them in line, keep them from taking each other's stuff and punching each other in the mouth all the time. As such, we of course would need a powerful leader to protect people from themselves. So a monarchy is the way to go, in his point of view. Now, Rousseau, at the opposite end of the spectrum, thought men in their natural state are free and equal and good, generally, living in harmony with each other and with nature, and that it's civilization that corrupts and destroys them. So this is basically the idea of the noble savage, if you've heard of that. This is a trope or an old meme before memes were just image macros. Actually, I see a lot of memes that are just Twitter posts, and it's like, honey, that is not a meme, that is just a tweet. Unimportant. But a trope where simple, perfect tribe folks in touch with nature, untouched by the corruption of society, live in perfect balance, and kind of elevating it to a model minority kind of status. It's you see it in all kinds of media. It's a great example of a benevolent prejudice that otherizes people, and in an insidious way opens the path to more directly oppressive prejudice. Anyway, since civilization is what corrupts, then Rousseau eschewed the kind of strict society that Hobbes preferred, believing that government was just there to unite people under a common will, under the general will. So getting those good natural impulses and all pulling in the same direction, just so that we all want what's best. Let's let everybody have a voice. As such, citizens can't really ignore their civic duties to the collective, to everyone, and must be actively involved in the political process. Rather than an autocratic government, one with one strong central figure, like Hobbes wanted, Rousseau advocated for direct democracy, where every single citizen gets a say in what rules we follow. So governments would need to be responsive and aligned with that general will, with people taking precedence over institutions, and individuals being subordinate to that collective will. or the greater good, to put it in a simpler way. Kind of in the middle, we find Locke. He reasoned that in nature, men are neither good nor evil, but free. Free to do what they want, whether it's good or bad. And we give up some of that freedom to secure some protections, namely a right to life, liberty, and property. You may notice that that sounds awfully similar to the Declaration of Independence with its life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And yeah, we got that direct from Locke. That's basically plagiarism in my opinion. And if you commit an error that close where you just change a few of the words, I'm definitely giving you a 0 on an assignment. But whatever. It was the 1700s and anything goes. That was a bad joke. That was a dumb... whatever. So that's still a pretty key difference, though, that Locke said a right to property, and those, rebelling, white, landowning, wealthy slave owners took out that right to property part, placed it with the pursuit of happiness. But all we need the government to do then is protect people's rights to liberty and property. No more, no less. Don't need to control them and keep them in line. Their liberty is what we want. And we also don't need to kowtow to the greater good. It's a very free market approach, let's say. So long as we just make sure everybody can live a free life. Now, government's main goal then is to protect people from government, I guess. Secure those natural rights. Those rights that are the most important, that are beyond what we think should or shouldn't happen. It's just that's how we are in a state of nature, is that we have perfect freedom, so we want to protect that perfect freedom. He figured a representative government is best for that. Doesn't have to be every single person. But groups can send a representative that they elect, I presume, to whatever governing body to speak for them. So, these three thinkers, Hobbes advocating for a king to control the rabble, Locke wanting a representative government just to protect rights, and Rousseau wanting a collective-focused direct democracy to enact the general will. How do you see their influence on our governmental structure, on the Constitution, on the American zeitgeist for the past several hundred years? I guess it's only like 200 years. So yeah, in the Constitution and in how the Bill of Rights is kind of tacked on to the end in those first 10 amendments. In how our political parties see the world, and in how you see the world. Do you see your thinking reflected in some of this? Do you agree with one more than the other? Do you think they're all full of shit? Well, that's fine with me. Through history, right now, internationally, in what ways have they misinterpreted, or did they get to the right conclusion from the wrong presumptions? And when I say governmental structure, I mean how we have a president. We also have a Congress. Where do those ideas shine through? Think about that, because you've got an assignment on it. And I'll catch you next time in LIBS330. Wow, that's not a good outro. That's not a good outro. Okay, so talk to you later. Bye.